can't believe that we are already at the third week of Advent. My, how does time fly? And I hope that you've been enjoying your Advent season. You've been trying to get ready for the birth of Jesus. I hope you saw last week's video, which was the lights in the church. And this week, Sunday, I'd like to bring you another story, and this is a legend. So a legend is a story that has gone on from, for a long, long time. And before I read you the story, I just want to point out our poinsettia there. I'm sure you've seen poinsettias in your homes and in churches and actually all around stores and any place you might go to during this time of year. And poinsettias are pretty popular at Christmas, and they come in all different colors now. But the story I'm going to read you is the story of the legend of the poinsettia. And the book that I'm going to read you has been retold and illustrated by Tommy DePaola. A very, very pretty well-known person who writes wonderful stories for children and of course people of all ages. So this is the cover. Lucida lived in a small village high up in the mountains of Mexico with her mama, her papa, and her younger brother and sister, Paco and Lupe. Papa worked in the fields with their burro, Pepito. Every evening, Lucida fed Pepito, gave him some fresh water, and filled his stall with clean straw. I hope all of you are helping around your houses now, and all the time except now maybe you have a little bit more time. At home, Lucida helped Mama clean their casita, their little house, and pat out the tortillas for their meals. She took care of Paco and Lupe, and each evening they went to the shrine of the Virgin of Guadalupe near the front gate to see if fresh candles were needed. But every day was not work. On Sundays, the family went to San Gabriel in the square, where Padre Alvarez said the Mass. And all through the year, there were fiestas and holy days, which always began with a procession that wound through the village and ended in San Gabriel. Sometimes we do processions in our church, and I do remember the last couple years, of course not this year, but we've done a procession in which we dressed up like the different saints for the Feast of All Saints Day. So we still do this. One day close to Christmas, La Navidad, Padre Alvarez came to their casita. Ah, Senora Martinez, buenos dias, good day. Padre Alvarez said, I'm here to ask you about the blanket which covers the figure of the baby Jesus in the Christmas procession. We have used the same one for so many years that it is almost worn out. Because your weaving is so fine, I have come to ask if you would make a new one. Mi padre, Lucida's mother said. I would be honored, and Lucida will help me. It is a great honor to be asked to do something so special and so fine for the baby Jesus. On Saturday, Lucida and Mama went to the market to buy the wool for the blanket. They chose the finest yarn they could find. At home, Lucida helped Mama dye the wool the colors of the rainbow. Those colors will shine throughout the church, Papa said, as he watched Lucida and Mama string the yarn on the loom. Beautiful, vibrant colors they're using. As Christmas drew closer, everyone in the village was busy. All the mamas were making gifts to place at the manger of the baby Jesus in the church. The papas worked together, putting up the manger scene in San Gabriel. Lucida and the other children went to the church for singing practice for the Christmas Eve procession, when everyone would walk to San Gabriel, singing and carrying candles. Once inside, Padre Alvarez would lay the figure of the baby Jesus in the manger, and the villagers would go up and place their gifts around it. Our gift will be the blanket for the baby Jesus, Lucida told her friends. I am helping Mama weave it. One afternoon, a few days before Christmas Eve, Lucida and the children were singing in the church when Senora Gomez came hurrying in. Lucida, you must come home. Your mama is sick, and your papa has taken her down to the town to see the doctor. You must take care of your brother and sister until your papa returns tonight. Lucida was very frightened. Mama had never been sick before. When she got home, Papa, Paco, and Lupe were crying. They were frightened too. Lucida tried to comfort them. She made some food and sat down to wait for Papa. That evening, Papa came in looking tired and worried. He drew Lucida close and said, Lucida, mi niña, your mama is ill. Your aunt, Tia Carmen, will take care of Mama until she is well. But I must go back and stay with Mama until I can bring her home. But it won't be until after Christmas. Senora Gomez will take care of you and Paco and Lupe while I'm gone. She will come for you tomorrow. It's got to be a very, very scary time for the children and for the Mama and Papa too. The next afternoon, Lucida overheard two women talking. Lucida's mama is ill. She won't be able to finish the blanket for the procession. Isn't it a shame? See, the other women said, we are all so disappointed. Padre Alvarez will have to use the old worn-out one. When Lucida went home to feed Pepito and get clothes for Paco, Lupe, and herself, she looked at the unfinished blanket on the loom. Perhaps I can finish it, she thought. But when she sat down and tried to weave, the yarn got tangled. The more she tried to untangle it, the worse it got. It was no use. She could never finish it by herself. She took the unfinished blanket to Senora Gomez. Oh, Lucida, it is so tangled. There isn't time for me to fix it, Senora Gomez told her. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Lucida started to cry. It was her fault the blanket was ruined. Her family wouldn't have a gift to place at the manger of the baby Jesus. Don't worry, Lucida. We will all go to the procession together. Lucida didn't say anything, but in her heart, she felt that she had ruined Christmas. Come, Paco, come, Lupe, it's time to go to the procession, Senora Gomez called on Christmas Eve. Where is Lucida? She was nowhere to be found. Lucida was hiding. From the shadows, Lucida watched everyone gather for the procession. The candles were lit, the singing began, and the villagers walked to San Gabriel, carrying gifts to place at the manger. Lucida walked along in the darkness and watched the procession go into the church, followed by Padre Alvarez carrying the baby Jesus. You can see them going into the church, and at the end of the procession comes Father Alvarez or Padre Alvarez with the baby Jesus. Sounds like some things that happen still today in our churches. Little girl, are you Lucida? An old woman stood in the shadows nearby. See, Lucida answered, wondering who she was. I have a message for you. Your mama is going to be fine, and your papa will bring her home soon, so you don't have to worry. Go now into the church and celebrate Christmas with the others. Paco and Lupe are waiting for you. I can't, Lucida told her. I don't have a gift for the baby Jesus. Mama and I were weaving a beautiful blanket, but I couldn't finish it. I tried, but I only got tangled it all up. Ah, Lucida, any gift is beautiful because it is given, the old woman told her. Whatever you give the baby Jesus with love, because it comes from you. Well, what can I give now? Lucida asked, looking around. Do you have any ideas what Lucida could give? Well, let's see what she found. A patch of tall green weeds grew in a tangle nearby. Lucida rushed over and picked an armful. Do you think these will be all right? Lucida turned to ask the old woman. She was gone. Lucida walked into the church. It was blazing with candlelight, and the children were singing as she walked quietly down the aisle with a bundle of weeds in her arms. What is Lucida carrying? A woman whispered. Why is she bringing weeds into the church? Another one murmured. Lucida reached the manger scene. She placed the green weeds around the stable. Then she lowered her head and prayed. A hush fell over the church. Voices began to whisper. Look at the weeds. Lucida opened her eyes and looked up. Each weed was tipped with a flaming red star. The manger glowed and shimmered as if lit by 100 candles. You know what those weeds turned into, don't you? When everyone went outside after the Mass, all the clumps of green tall weeds throughout the town were shining with red stars. Lucida's simple gift had indeed become beautiful. And every Christmas to this day, the red stars shine on top of green branches in Mexico. The people call the plants La Flor de Nacobenia, the flower of the holy night, the poinsettia. So hopefully now, every time you look at a poinsettia and appreciate its beauty, you will think of the story of Lucida and the legend of the poinsettia. And you know, this book kind of makes me think Lucida felt like she had nothing to give the baby Jesus. And yet she did find something, even though when she picked it up, it was just a bunch of weeds. But her weeds turned into beautiful flowers, beautiful stars to adorn the church and the town, the poinsettia. So maybe you can think about what gift you could give to Jesus. And it doesn't have to cost money, and it doesn't have to be some big deal. But when you give a gift with love, it becomes a very special deal. And so also, while you're thinking about what you can give to Jesus, maybe you can also think of what you can give to others in your lives, to neighbors, to your parents, to your sisters and your brothers. They can be very simple. Just being kind and understanding, listening, can be wonderful gifts to give those you love. And so until next week Sunday, I hope you have a wonderful third week of Advent and that you all stay safe and sound in your homes. God bless. Have a wonderful Sunday. Bye-bye.